I am joined here by Bournemouth manager Scott Parker. I guess, Scott, it's been a great start to the season for you, but it would be a bit remiss for me to not ask how David Brooks is getting on after the last week or so. How is he? How are things?
Yeah, David's okay. Okay, in terms of the situation, he'll start his treatment tomorrow. So, like I say, we're right behind him. We're supporting him, putting things in place for the challenge he has, really. So, looking forward to getting him back. We have no doubt about that. But on that information, he has his treatment, starts his treatment tomorrow. That journey starts for him.
Are you proud of how well the club's pulled together in such a tricky time?
Yeah, look, of course. I think it's like anything when you hear the devastating news of someone so young. If David is, I loved he is amongst the group and the team as well. There was only one reaction, and that is to pull together in terms for him, us to show his support. I think the players have done that in the games, showing his support outside of that as well, in terms of being around him or communicating with him. He's going to need that, the strength which the people are rooting for him and right behind him, really. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well.
And how much has it meant to you and the club and to him to see the spirit of in football? There was Stoke paid a touching tribute to him before the game on Tuesday night, for example.
Yeah, look, I think I've said that many a time. Football is a game that can unite people, no matter what colours you wear or who you support. What you think is times like this that the football community and the world come together, really. I thought Bristol, it was incredible, and Stoke, in terms of their supporters taking aside the emotion of the game and what that holds in terms of winning or losing. That was totally pushed to one side, and the unity of everyone in terms of showing their support and putting themselves in that situation, really. So that was touching.
And obviously everyone here, League of 72, Sky Sports wishes him their best as well, obviously, as well. So we'll turn back to football matters now. Obviously, we're doing this interview because you won the Sky Bet Championship Manager of the Month award for September. Congratulations for that. A bit delayed. Normally, when I do these interviews, the manager will then go on and lose the next 3 games, which always makes it a bit difficult. But
I was weary of that.
I've had to apologise to many managers in the last few years for bringing that down upon them. But your form in October has been brilliant. How happy you are with how things have started this season?
Yeah, I'm delighted with where we are, where things currently are. We've got off to a very, very good start. Been in now 17 weeks and putting over and giving over information, what I'm asking of the team. The team have worked relentlessly hard. Pre-season was very tough for them. And like I said, I think they're definitely reaping the rewards of what the work that they took on and how well they've gone about it, really. So a very good start, but as quickly as I say that, I realise it is just the start, and no season's defined in the first 12, 13 games, while of course it's helpful. And I realise there's still a long road to go, and there's still a long road in our development as a football team and as players as well, really. So we need to keep on improving, keep on getting better, keep nailing down all the fine details, what we're trying to do, which at this present moment in time, this team, this group of players give me no reason to think any different. I have a very good group of players here that are engaged, that want to improve, want to get better, are driven, easy, coachable players that obviously want to strive to become top players and be part of a top team. So that makes my life a lot easier.
I mean, looking back to the start of the season, you obviously made the move from Fulham to Bournemouth, which was it didn't divide opinion, but it was an interesting move because obviously you're talking about 2 clubs who are expected to be at the top end of the table, shall we say. How big a decision was that for you to make that step and move on to the club after you'd been at Fulham for so long as a player and a coach and a manager?
Yeah, it was a big decision, but it was a decision which was the right decision, and I think both sides of that realised that. I realised it, and certainly Fulham realised that as well. So I think we both understood that something would need to give a little bit for what I felt needed to give for me to keep improving the team and to keep taking them to where we needed to get to. And Fulham thought different, and of course that's part and parcel of it. And we both decided that probably best is that we part. So that was exactly where that is. I was fortunate enough and in a position enough that Bournemouth were very keen for me to come in here and take over. So that it fell into place, and I've come into a football club that, after a meeting early on in the initial meetings of you always come in with an understanding of how you think things are going to be, what you think, how you think the club's going to be managed, what my role, or certainly what sort of control I'm going to have on things. And I've not been, my initial thoughts were exactly how they've at this present moment in time portrayed to be, really. So I'm pleased with that. This is a team and a football club that ultimately want to get back to the Premier League, and we're striving and we're working relentlessly to try our hardest to do that, really. So yeah, overall it's going well at the moment.
Obviously, you're a manager who's known well for having your own sort of style, your philosophy, the way you want to play. How difficult was it from day one to get that into a new club, a new squad, after obviously you were so ingrained within Fulham when you were there?
It wasn't difficult, really, because of the group of players I've got. And of course, when you go into clubs, and I had it at Fulham, as a manager, you go in, you're going to have players that are resentful a little bit, or certainly not as willing as others. And that's the challenge of managing, and that's the challenge of trying to convince certain players this is where we need to get to. Some you convince, some you need to get rid of. But certainly here, if there's one thing that I have got, is from the minute I stepped in here, I had a group of players that literally eyes wide open, ears pinned back, and they want to get better, they want to learn, they trust, and they bought into the processes that we're trying to put here, really. So that it wasn't a challenge, and it's never been a challenge. Them challenges come when obviously the players have a different view to what I currently have, really.
I mean, obviously you talk about your squad, your players there. Your entire squad's been exceptional so far. That's why you're top of the league. But just picking out a few names, the two youngsters, Jadon Anthony, Jordan Zamora, how impressed have you been with them? How aware were you of them before you arrived at the club? Did they impress you over the summer?
They impressed me pre-season. I was aware of them. I was aware of them, of course. I'd be lying if I sit here and said that Jordan Zamora and Jadon Anthony were players that I was looking at on a bit of paper before I'd even met anyone, thinking you just wouldn't, because they didn't play. They've not played a lot of football. And again, they took on. I've come in, fresh start for them. Impressed me first and foremost. They've got their opportunity and took it. Boys, both of them boys have got big quality, and they're everything we're trying to do in that sense. So Gavin Kilkenny, Mark Travis, these are players that probably before the start of this season were fringe players or didn't play a lot of minutes. Well, they've definitely earned the right first and foremost, and I have to say that to my players. First and foremost, earn the right to get in the team by what you do in training and by how you hold yourself and everything you do, and then ultimately performance. And them boys have been performing very well. Next challenge for them is young lads. They need to be consistent now, and that's the next challenge for them.
Have they helped in part with the refresh from last season? Obviously, you weren't here, but the club suffered disappointment in the playoffs. Have they helped with the kind of to bring a bit of energy and enthusiasm to the place, or was that there anyway from the moment you arrived?
Yeah, that was there just because of a new face coming in me. So a new face come in, and there's obviously an uplift in that anyway. But of course, they brought energy, they brought a freedom, which happens with young players who are just coming into a team. And I said it at the start. I said it at the end of a transfer window. I think we've got the balance well. We're a balance with experienced players, a balance with young, enthusiastic, a freedom about them. So yeah, I think the balance as well, and certainly they brought that.
Obviously, at the other end of the scale, when you speak about balance, is Gary Cahill, who's been exceptional. How did you get him down there? Obviously, an old England teammate of yours. Did you make a call to convince him, or how did he end up with you?
Yeah, I made a few calls to be fair. So, again, it was yeah, I mean, it was a big coup for us, really, and it was someone that I recognised that with his experience and his quality, of course, he could be massive for us and really improve us and add to what we've got in terms of the other players, Chris Meckham's, Lloyd Kelly's. In that position, he brings a wealth of experience and can help them guys and develop them guys as well. So while also helping us and helping the team, and I think we've seen that in the games he's been involved in and been around, that he's certainly done that. So I've been very pleased with Gaz.
How did those calls go exactly when you were convincing him? I have to know.
Yeah, no, they were like any call that you have with players that you're trying to sign, really. So Gary's an experienced guy with options, and he needs to hear exactly where we're trying to get to, and he wants to ask the questions what he feels he needs to ask. Of course he does. I need to give him them answers while also explaining how I see it, and I suppose ultimately he got the answers what he felt comfortable for him to come and commit and come and play for us this season, really. So I was pleased with that.
And obviously at the other end of the pitch you've got Dom Solanke, he was great last season, but he's improving game on game still this season. Is he now the player that a lot of people thought he could be when he was breaking through as sort of the youth England international and the Chelsea player, the Liverpool player?
Yeah, I think he's proven that. I think he's proven that now because he's backing up seasons, really. He had a goal. He scored goals last year in that big season. The difference between the top strikers really is that consistency. You go and back it up with another season, and really you're on the end. You're at the levels where you know that you can score goals really and score them in the championship and then moving up from there really. So I've not got enough words to praise Dom really. He's probably a bit more of an old school centre forward in the sense that he builds his game first and foremost on a work ethic, relentless in his work and what he does. We couldn't set up the team the way we set up if it went through a Dominic Solanke in that sense. As a 9, he's the one what sets everything off for us in terms of the press. And then on the flip side of that, he's got a good knack of being able to score goals as well. So for me, he's the all-round 9 that's brilliant that we've got.
And the question I'm going to ask now, I know you're not going to answer, but I have to ask it anyway. What are the expectations for this season after such a good start?
To keep improving, really, and I know that sounds very cliche. And I know you'd want me to say, "Oh, we want to go and win the league, or we want to get promoted." And of course, we want to do that. Of course, we do. And that's the aim. But that can't be the main focus. The main focus needs to be we keep nailing everything we do on a daily basis. The processes were in place. We keep sticking to. We keep being committed more than ever in terms of our work ethic, in terms of our desire to improve. We keep being very honest and brutal at times when things ain't going well. I know that if we do that and we stick to that, I know we'll be successful. So when one's aim is just the end goal, and the end goal is, we want to win the league or we want to get promoted, you lose sight of what gets you there in the end. And what's going to get us there is exactly what I'm talking about. From day dot, I walked in here. Effort, desire, hard work, players constantly wanting to improve and get better, and that's not changed to this point. At this point, we've had success with it, so we need to make sure that doesn't change, and that's my job to make sure that, because I know if it doesn't, we'll be all right this year.
How much would it mean to you if you were able to take the club to the Premier League?
Not just me. That is the aim, of course it is, but everyone. I see everyone at this football club doing everything they can, players, staff, everyone trying everything they can, like we all are, to get to the Premier League. And that's going to come with a lot of hard work from all of us. And that's the aim, really.
Well, if things keep going the way they are, then we will be speaking plenty more this season with hopefully a few more Manager of the Months to come. Scott, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.